Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, I want to go over a live trade that I took on Tesla where I was able to lock in $450 in just a few minutes. Now this is actually using a different style of trading from my traditional style, which most of you guys know I prefer to buy dips with options, but I've been expanding my playbook and learning how to trade breakouts with options. Definitely want to give a shout out to Matt Diamond. He's another YouTuber who makes some really good quality content. He day trades options, but really kind of focuses on trading breakouts. So if you haven't seen his channel, make sure to go check it out. Like I said, he does a great job of explaining his process and how he does that. But I was able to catch a pretty good breakout trade on Tesla this past week, and I want to walk you through my thought process and kind of my plan going into the open. I had a plan for both directions, which is really great, and we're going to see how the trade was actually executed. So if you guys are new here, I'm Tex and I share my journey with trading and investing in the stock market. Do me a favor if you would, if you're enjoying the content, please hit that like button, make sure you're subscribed, and let's go ahead and get started with the video. Alright guys, before we jump into the live video, just for a little bit of context, we can see that on Tesla's daily chart here, it had a pretty big move down the prior day, and we were actually opening up kind of mid-range. So I had a pre-market level that I was looking at. When we look at the chart over here, you can see that this level of support came in right here, was not the pre-market low, but a possible area of support for Tesla. So I had that marked out. The pre-market low is technically down here, and the reason I didn't really mark that out is because that 803.62 level was a more significant level from the daily chart. You can see on this day here and this day there, that 803.62 held support, overshot it this past day on the sell-off, but it was a significant level and it was down there around that pre-market low. So the game plan coming into the open, since we were opening right here at this pre-market level, was to see if we hold that and we get a breakout over that morning high, that initial morning high on that first 1 minute candle. If so, I would take that breakout trade and just be targeting the pre-market high. Nothing fancy, right? No, not that big of a move, but enough of a move that there's certainly a trade there. However, if the breakout trade doesn't play out and Tesla wants to sell off, I'm going to be looking for like an opening range scalp. I'm going to be looking to buy a dip into this 803.62 level, because I know that if it makes a run down there, especially with speed and distance, that's going to be a really good opening range scalp setup. So I'm prepared either way. If Tesla wants to hold that pre-market level and break out, I'll take that trade. If it wants to dip and fall into the 803.62 level, I'll take that trade. All right, so let's jump into the live video and see how it played out. Okay, so the market is opening. I have the 820 calls pulled up, which is just a little out of the money at this point in time, but it's early enough in the week that I'm not really worried about the theta too much. The pre-market high, which is what we'd be targeting on a breakout trade, was just over 822. So that means those 820 calls should expand pretty nicely if we do get a move up towards that pre-market high. And it should have enough volume flowing into them. So 820 calls are loaded, ready to go, kind of anticipating that we're going to have a breakout trade. If we do fall lower here, and I'm going to be doing the opening range scalp off that 803 level, probably be going with the 800 calls in that case. So if that happens, we'll switch to the 800 calls. Otherwise, we're going to watch this very closely. Now, it's very important to kind of let that first minute shake out, guys. Don't be in a rush to get in on that first 1 minute candle. Let it kind of form, let it shake out. You can watch this countdown timer here. It tells you how many seconds are remaining until this candle is closed. So that can be helpful to watch that countdown timer and give you a little bit of a clue as to how the candle might close. Now, I love that we have kind of a hammer candle formed here. We have our initial high of day right there. So obviously the breakout trigger is breaking out above that initial high of day, and we should see a move up to the pre-market high if that happens. So I'm watching this very closely, and one of the things that Matt talks about is anticipating the breakout just a little bit. Now, obviously, anticipating with trading is typically not something you want to do, but when you're trading options, especially if you're trading a breakout, it is important that you anticipate just a little bit, because the premiums are going to expand quite a bit once the breakout triggers, and that means you're going to be paying a much higher price if you wait until it triggers. So I'm watching this closely here. We've got about 14 seconds until this second 1 minute candle closes. I see some flash coming through here on the time and sales for those option contracts at 25. It looks like buyers are really trying to defend it. So I'm in right now. I just hit the trigger there. 25.10 was my fill on the one contract. So what I'm going to do at this point in time, since the breakout looks like it's going to happen, right? I probably anticipated just a little too much, admittedly, right there. But I've only got one contract. I'm comfortable with the position size. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to risk here, right? I'm going to risk this low of day. If we break that, I'll just get out of the trade and look to reset for a possible opening range scalp down here lower towards that 803 level. Or maybe even it wants to do a full gap fill all the way down here to the previous close. But, like I said, I'm going to risk there in with a one contract. The breakout technically triggers here. And if we do confirm the breakout, I'll add one more contract. So that's the game plan. Let's see. Let's go ahead and unpause the video, see this play out. Okay, so far we have not triggered, but we are still holding. It is looking good. It's starting to perk up. Boom. All right. We just put in a new high. All right. It's still struggling though. Pulled back below. But it is triggering. We're in. Time and sales looks good. Some green coming through. So right there, I just threw an order out to add to my position. All right. So what I did, let's just back it up a little bit. What I did is I hit this button right here. I hit this bid one button. So that threw an order out at the bid instead of the ask. And the reason that I did that is because since the breakout has already triggered, the premiums are already kind of expanding. I want to try to get a better fill by hitting the bid instead of the ask. Now, the downside obviously is that I won't get a fill because the market's going to be moving away from it pretty quickly now that the breakout has triggered. But for me personally, try and get a better fill. Sometimes you don't get it, sometimes you do. It can really help out on the risk side. So I did get filled on that second contract at $25.95. So I've got an average price at $25.52. So what I'm doing right now is I've got an order out on the market. I'll just pause the video. I've got an order sitting out on the market at $27.20. And the reason being is because we've triggered the breakout, right? We're breaking out, but I want to go ahead and remove some risk. I want to take one contract off, just remove some of the risk from the trade. That way I can really kind of let that last contract ride up towards my profit target, which is that pre-market high. And I'm looking over here at the ask and I see, a big wall of 27 and 27.20 sitting there on the ask. But I'm looking at the time and sales and there's nothing coming through close to that. I'm seeing 26.5, a lot of 26.5, 26.30 coming through on the time and sales. So it looks like, obviously it probably will get to the 27.20, but I'm a little bit anxious to go ahead and remove some risk and take one contract off. And I'm not getting filled at that 27.20. So I end up taking that order down and putting one out at 27 and I get filled. And if I'd been just a little bit more patient, I would have got the 27.20, but I mean, that's okay. So right there, I took it down, threw an order out at 27 and filled. And as we're pushing up here, obviously right there, I would have gotten 27.20, but looking good. So we've removed one contract. We've got some risk off the table. Now we're looking good for our ultimate profit target. Again, that pre-market high. Now this is a very early breakout trade, guys, right? This is just 3 or 4 minutes into the open. There's our profit target, that pre-market high. And as I said with options, it's really important to sell into the move to try to maximize those premiums, because if you wait until it comes up and then pulls off of that level, you're going to end up giving back some profit. And I'm already out of the trade. You can see locking in $450 there. So let me just back it up again because it happens kind of quickly. All right, so here we go. We're pushing up here. Let me unpause. So as we push up here, take a look at the premiums over here on the ask and the time and sales, what's actually coming through here. So I'm looking at this and I see 27.80. All right, we're over 28 on the ask, but not coming through on time and sales yet. All right, there's 28.25 and I see 28.50 there on the ask. So I throw an order out at 28.55 here in just a second. I'm sitting there ready to go. And fixing to hit the button. Boom, hit the button right there. I'm on the ask, 28.55, and let's pause that real quick. All right, so literally that is my order right there. So someone literally grabbed my order off the ask, and so I got filled right there at 28.55, closing out the position for, again, $450 profit. Now I sold just a little bit ahead ahead of the profit target right there. Again, because I'm selling into the move, right? So if I were to let it keep going, I might have been able to squeak about another $1 out of the premium. But I'd rather just go ahead and take my money on the move up into the level rather than try to squeak every last penny out of the premium. So all in all, I mean, like I said, very happy with this trade. Very solid plan with a breakout over the high of day, otherwise stopping low of day, looking for an opening range scalp if we sold off. So always good to have a game plan both directions. That way you're prepared and ready to execute no matter what the stock does. And like I said, just remember that anytime you're taking a breakout trade like this, especially when it's very early in the morning in those first few minutes, very important to not be greedy with it, because when it's this early, there's a very good chance that it's going to come up and then come all the way back down to that low of day. And if you didn't take profit on this push up right here on that first move, right? If you got greedy, you didn't take profit and it comes all the way back down, you're going to give up everything that you were up and then probably go red on the position. So really important this early in the morning to not be greedy. Just take that small move, lock it in, and then look for maybe a setup later in the day. If this had been kind of an opening range that had developed over a longer period of time, maybe 15 or 30 minutes, and then you're looking at an opening range breakout from obviously a longer period of time, then you're probably going to be expecting a much bigger move. But this early in the morning, I'm not really obviously going to be swinging for the fences. So very happy with this. Like I said, it's a different style of trading, just expanding my playbook. I have a lot to learn yet, but I'm very excited with the direction that this is going. That way I have, more opportunities to trade different types of setups, different market conditions, and, all that good stuff. So hopefully the video was helpful to you guys. Always appreciate you watching as always. Take care, and I will see you in the next one.